Hey people of VC, it's Andy Cloudy Mulder. Got a general collection update for you this time around. So this is stuff that doesn't fall into the 80s category. For some reason, I started off with 2 streams and I'm keeping it going. So there we go. Most of this kind of falls in the new wave of traditional heavy metal bracket. Some of it is things I've just picked up because I wanted to get it, and some of the things that I've got to show I picked up as a result of seeing these bands live in Edinburgh. So got quite a bit to get through, so let's dive straight in. First up, so last night I went to see a few bands that, to be honest with you, as of last week, I'd never even heard of. It's been a while since I went to any gigs, a couple of months or so, and I looked around at who was coming, and usual venue I go to, Bannerman's in Edinburgh. They had a band, so it said it was joint headlining. It was a band called Fury and Darkesis. So I bought tickets. I had this online and really liked Fury. Darkesis were more of a sort of symphonic, progressive power metal band, and they're okay. I mean, I'm not really into the whole symphonic metal stuff. I mean, they were good at what they did. The guitarist, I think, fancied himself as the new Yngwie Malmsteen. He was very, very technical, very, very accomplished, and did what he did very well, but it's not really my kind of thing anymore to see that live anyway. And the venue, Bannerman's, is tiny, and I think they would have suited a better auditorium. Bannerman's is great for your heavy metal, hard rock, raw, in your face metal, and I don't think the venue really suited them that well, but they were okay. They were good to see. So I went, yeah, so those are the 2 bands that were on, and I thought there were only 2 bands on. Doors opened at 7:30, and usually the first band doesn't kick off till about 8:30, so I thought I had plenty of time. I got there about 8:15, and I missed the first band because apparently there were 4 bands playing. They had 2 local support bands as well. So the band I missed was called Rune Master, who, again, I'd not heard of before, but I've listened to their stuff on Bandcamp. They've got 2 or 3 kind of EPs out that are just digital downloads, and it's pretty good stuff. I might end up actually buying those, and hope to see them again, catch up with them. The next band was a band called Farseer. They were really good. Played a very, very clearly Iron Maiden influence, but not a clone by any means. They were superb. I'll try and leave links to these these bands below if I remember, because they were great stuff, and they were a local Scottish band as well. They've got an album out. Unfortunately, they didn't have any CDs left, so I couldn't pick up anything from them. As I say, Darkesis were the main support act on the night. Not my thing, but Fury were excellent, and I ended up picking up their full back catalogue off the merch table because I wasn't interested in the other stuff. So Fury they're more of a traditional metal band. This is their first EP that they had out. This is from 2011. This is their first full-length album, The Lightning Dream. This is excellent. You can catch these on YouTube. So there's only 2 of the original band members that are actually playing all through these CDs. This is the latest one, Lost in Space. So I've got a couple of signatures of the guys at the end. So it's JJ and Alistair Davis. So the singer and the drummer are the only ever present guys in the band, and the only ones that played on the night that were on this album. I just got the one of them signed because I'm not really that much of a gig slut that I have to get everything signed. I get signatures on things, so when I pick up the album myself, I don't do it to add value or anything, but just more of as a jog the memory, and so I always got that at the gig. So this is Lost in Space. This is their latest album from last year, and this is really, really good as well. Thoroughly recommend that you check out Fury. As I say, traditional heavy metal, British band, and they got some killer songs. Mostly, I mean, they're there's a certain fantasy element to it. There's Dragon Song, When the Hammer Falls, good, Nordic heavy metal style. Valhalla. It's not Viking metal though. But there also a serious side, Sons of War, which is a song in more of a remembrance theme to it. But it's really atmospheric and really, really good. So I would check out Lost in Space and Sons of War from this album on YouTube, and say Into the Dark on The Lightning Dream. I'm a convert. This band is brilliant. They don't have anything on vinyl, so that's why I picked up the CDs. Previous week, at the start of the week, I think it was the Monday, when I started looking to see who was coming to Bannerman's in the next few weeks, or Edinburgh as total. I saw that Night Demon were coming, and also I recognised the name Night Demon, one of the really popular new wave of traditional heavy metal bands. I've not really given them a chance, and I played their first album. I think it's Curse to the Damned is on YouTube. And within the first sort of minute of the first song, the Maiden and Diamond Head influences, and I was hooked, and I thought I better grab a ticket straight away. And I grabbed a ticket, went along, and there were about 30 people there. This venue doesn't do a great job of promoting bands that come, unless they're putting the bands on themselves, and they do quite a good job. But it was a real shame to see Night Demon play just in front of about 30 people. It was great for me. Obviously, I had a great view, could stand right in front of the stage and see the whole show. But they didn't hold back. They did the whole show, lights, all the fog going on, and they were excellent live. I thoroughly recommend Night Demon if you haven't seen them and you get a chance to. I had a good chat with them after. The singer and the guitarist were on hand after for a bit of a chat. They had the usual merch stuff, CDs, t-shirts, vinyl. I don't have the first album, but I decided to pick up the second one because this is obviously the album that they're touring. Got the three of them to sign it, so this album actually comes with a CD as well, which I love. I think it's a great touch when you pick up the vinyl and there's a CD there as well. And there's the guys there. So it was Jarvis Leatherby and Armand John Anthony. Had a quick chat with at the bar after, and Dusty Squires on drums. Killer drummer. But I'm a complete convert to Night Demon now. If you're not aware of them, do check them out because they play killer traditional heavy metal. The vinyl itself it probably looks black, but it's as you can see over there, it's a smoky dark green vinyl, but it's a great record. Absolutely love it. I'm hoping to pick up the first album as and when I see it for a decent price, but the whole of the first album is available on YouTube, so I feel I can kind of listen to it as and when I need to, but I will definitely be picking that up. And I get it now. I know lots of people have been raving about this band for quite some time, and the penny's dropped, so I'm on board. Now, supporting Night Demon were a band called Mithra, and this is their album Still Burning. Now, Mithra are they're a new wave of British heavy metal band, originally formed in the late 70s. This is a brand new album. This was released this year, and it's all new material. They had an EP, I think, that came out in 1979. The sound has a similar sort of guitar tone as Maiden did at the time, but at the time these guys weren't following Maiden. They were, I guess, peers of or starting out around the same time, but obviously Maiden went one way, and Mithra didn't make it. But they're back on the gigging scene. They've obviously got a new album out, and they were a pleasure to chat to after. So I did get it signed as well. So there's 4 signatures on here, and that's John Roach on guitar, Phil Davis on drums, Vince High on vocals, and Alex Perry on guitars. They had a standing bass player on the night. Morris Bates wasn't there for some reason or other. But yeah, chatting to them after. So John Roach was the original lead guitarist, and when he left, Alex Perry joined them, and now they've effectively got two lead guitarists, and they sparred really well. They taking turns on the solos, and it was just excellent. And Vince had great vocals as well. So I was mainly chatting to Vince and Alex after, and they kind of told me the story of the band. Alex he had a smile on his face all the way through the gig, and I said to him after, like, you look like you enjoyed it there, and he just said, you know what, I never expected to be doing this again. So what can I do other than enjoy it? So they were a great bunch of lads to chat to. This is, as I say, it's all new stuff, but it's got a real killer sort of new wave of British heavy metal sound to it. So I would thoroughly recommend a Mithra. I say this is out this year, and it's on High Roller Records. And the vinyl is an interesting clear beer color. Let's have a look. It's more of a light beer than an amber, I guess. But yeah, this is great. I've only listened to this once so far, but it's really good. And there we go. Here's the inner sleeve. High Roller, great job on the reproduction as usual. Lyrics as well. Now, next four I'm going to show you is four I'm going to show you is a care package that I got from High Roller Records themselves. Now, when I heard that Ram were releasing a new album this year, I put my pre-order in on the day it was announced, and that was about 3 months before it actually came out. So it's been a really long wait, and the anticipation has been building and building to the moment it would come. So High Roller are based in Germany, and I actually got the package from them. They sent a dispatch note 2 or 3 days before the album was due out this year. I think it was due out the 17th of, not 17th of November, that's today. Album was due out about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I literally got it from Germany the day after. So that was a brilliant service from High Roller, and you get nothing less from them. But what I do buy from High Roller, though, postage is not the cheapest thing. So I tend to order from them not regularly, but I will usually find 3 or 4 things that I want from them to justify the cost. And postage is still about £15. Postage is still the cost of an album itself, so it's kind of 3 for the price of 4 almost. But yeah, I usually wait till there's a good bunch of things that I want, save up, and get them all in one go. So so I mentioned this one. So this is the main focus of what I was buying. So it's the new Ram album called Ram Rod, and this is yeah, it was well worth the wait. I've loved Ram from my introduction to them was the Subversum albums, the previous album to this, and I find that they've adjusted their styles between so I would say, I don't remember what they're called now, so Forced Entry, the first full-length album, and Death have a very similar sound to it, which is more sort of straight-up heavy metal. And then they had Lightbringer and Subversum, which was just kind of a little bit different, and they seem to alternate between those 2 styles. Ramrod is it's a different album again. Side 1 has Declaration of Independence, On Wings of No Return, Gulag, which is probably the simplest song in terms of structure, but I love that song. It's really catchy. And A Throne at Midnight. And then side 2 is effectively 1 song split into 7 parts, and it takes on more of a kind of concept album on side 2, and it's the story of Ramrod the Destroyer. Gatefold picture. It comes with a giant poster as well, kind of A1 size poster, which is pretty much this. I'm not going to get it out for the sake of this. This is the European pressing, and it's limited to 200, I think. And for number junkies out there, it's number 130. And this one, it's on Metal Blade Records, even though I got it from High Roller.
and it's on a flame splatter, which I think was a European exclusive, but don't quote me on that. But it sounds superb. I mean, I love Ram. I can't get enough of them. So very, very happy to finally get that. There's the inner. So that's the Ramrod, the Destroyer. That's the side 2 concept album story. All the tracks in together. And there's the band looking very metal. And so the poster as well, which is huge and sneak peek.
So absolutely stoked to get that. Well worth the wait. In terms of full-length albums, the only one I don't have is, in fact, I don't think it's even classed as a full album. So Sudden Impact, which is their first EP short album. I'd love to get a copy of that on vinyl. It's I don't think I'm going to get it anytime soon. It goes for an absolute fortune. There was a reissue, I think, in 2000 came out in 2003, and there was a reissue a few years later, but that was limited to 100, and it's just not available. But one day, you never know. I'll get the hype sticker as well. The spearhead of Swedish heavy metal is back with their 5th album. Cool. So as I said, to make it worthwhile buying from High Roller, I tend to buy 3 or 4. I did add to my Ram collection. So this is Under Command. This is a split between Ram and Portrait. I wasn't familiar with Portrait before, but having listened to this, I've gone and added all the Portrait albums to my wish list. So it's a sickness, isn't it? It's bought it for Ram, ended up wanted to get all the Portrait albums as well. Now, Portrait I've read or heard about that. So this is 2014. The split. It has a giant poster as well. And it's on a bone color and red splatter. So Portrait, a band that I've heard people and read about that are that looks pink, doesn't it? But it's bone and blood. That are very reminiscent of Merciful Fate. Now, Merciful Fate was a band I've never clicked with, so who knows? Portrait could be my link to finally clicking with Merciful Fate. Who knows? Who knows? Next up in that High Roller package, picked up the new High Spirits EP, Escape. It's a 4-track EP, or I guess 12-inch single. It's a 45 RPM. It's just on plain black vinyl. It came out this year, and this, if you like Motivator, this just carries on where that left off. Upbeat, really clean vocals from Chris Black. In fact, Chris Black plays everything on here with High Spirits. He has a house band that he tours with the same guys each time. Excellent live if you ever get a chance to see them. Yeah, this is just a great 4 songs that complements Motivator really well. And the last one out of the package was also a Chris Black project. So Chris Black, if you don't know, he's, as well as doing High Spirits, he's responsible for a band called Detonator and Actor, and one other that escapes me right now. So he has different projects on the go that cover different sort of subgenres of metal. Now, Actor, this is Paranoia. This was from 2015. This is a collaboration between Chris Black and a couple of guys in a Finnish band called Circle. Again, I never heard of them before, but I'm looking on Discogs. They've got about 450 albums out in the last 10-15 years or so. Circle are an experimental Finnish rock band, and this album is experimental is probably the best way to describe it. It's very keyboard heavy. If you look at this on Bandcamp, it describes itself as AOR psychedelic rock,
It's kind of got it. I knew when I tried to explain this it would sound bad, because I know if somebody had told me that I wouldn't have gone anywhere near it. But you kind of have to hear it to believe it. I recommend, if you can't find this on YouTube, go on Bandcamp and have a listen to this. It's thoroughly infectious. It's like nothing else I have in my collection. It's not heavy metal. It's kind of near, I guess, glam or hair metal, and almost there's an 80s synth pop vibe to it. And I know it sounds terrible, doesn't it? But it really works. And Chris Black's vocals on it as well, the clean vocals. Just have a listen and make your own mind up. But I would thoroughly recommend Actor Paranoia. Superb stuff. And this came on, again, it's a high road release. And it's on kind of a clear, dark red vinyl. How are we doing for time? 20 minutes. Sorry, this is probably not a long one. I've got 2 left, I think, and then we'll call it a day until the next one. So next up, Canadian band this time. This is Spell with their first album, The Full Moon Sessions. This is an album I got from Greg the Egg Blackmore Rules. He picked it up at a show. It's even signed. It's the only album I've got that's actually signed to Cloudy, which is quite amusing. Again, this is straight up traditional heavy metal. Would very much like to get their latest album. Got that on my wish list now as well. The song "Possessed by Heavy Metal" here is first track, side 2. Is awesome. I love it when heavy metal bands sing songs about heavy metal. You just can't get more heavy metal than that. And Spell do traditional heavy metal incredibly well. I believe they were originally called Striker, and I know if you guys have shown this recently, not this one, but talked about this band, and would thoroughly recommend them for the new wave of traditional heavy metal fans. I think this was from 2014, yeah, 2014, on Hard and Heavy Records. I played that vinyl, so I'm going to get out the wrapper. And oh, what I have got, I did take the inner out there, so you can see what they look like. 3-piece lyrics. Possessed by heavy metal, we are consumed by the power of electric rock and roll. Heavy metal thunder shakes my body, and white lightning shakes my soul. I can feel it flowing through, gives me power, gives me fuel. No one can stop us. We bleed for heavy metal that is real. You don't get more heavy metal than that. Right, and last, but certainly not least, the second album from Deadlord. This is In Ignorance We Trust. This is new out this year. The first Deadlord album is one of my favourite 21st century new heavy metal hard rock albums. I've listened to this a couple of times. In fact, it's still on the turntable now. It's really good. I still prefer the first album so far, and it was going to take a hell of a lot to beat that one. But it's really, really good. It maybe is a little bit more upbeat than the first one, but still thoroughly enjoyable. What's this on? I don't know what label this is on. Not that it matters. And so we have the inner with the lyrics and band photos. Band photo 2. And this also came with a poster. I'll open this one up while we're here. So it's kind of double-sided poster, not too big, A3 size. So we have a kind of like a outdoor gig shot and band photo as well. Right, so that's a lot. Got through a big chunk of things that I've been holding on to for a little while. I've got another stack, probably about the same size that I'll I'll keep for the next general collection update. Probably more sort of hard rock and some alternative rock in the next one. Let me know what you think of these. If you've heard any of them, let me know your opinion on them. Thank you for watching. Had a good few subscribers, a bit of a boost. Been a bit slow going on the channel recently. I got past the 400, which took an absolute age. In fact, I stopped looking at one point because it wasn't happening. It was going up and down, but had a good bunch in the last week. So thank you very much for the new subscribers out there. Anyone else who wants to subscribe, feel free. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. Check me out on Facebook, Cloudy Molder. I think I've got 39 likes on that at the moment, which is pretty cool. It's starting to have some good discussions on there with some of you guys, and some people that are not on YouTube, and some of the bands that I've shown records for as well have joined in as well. So it's the cool place to be. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's a long one. If you're still with me, appreciate it, and I will catch you again very soon.